Hi students, so we're going to do a second part on infinitives and we're going to look at how they're being used whether as nouns, adjectives, or adverbs. It can be a little confusing and this is a pretty advanced grammar topic, but I do want to make sure you're understanding it. All right, so remember an infinitive is where we have a verb form, run, jump, sing, buy, with, always starting with the verb with a to in front of it. So to shop. Shop is something we do. And in this sentence, my mom loves to shop. It's being used as a noun. In the next one, I'm going to show you how you can determine when it is a noun. Or to buy. So it's always going to have a verb right after the to. The best place to buy milk is the grocery store. And here it's which place? The place to buy milk. So it's an adjective. In this sentence, to eat is my infinitive, and it tells about stay. It modifies verb. Will stay. Why? To eat. So it modifies the verb. So let's look a little more carefully, reviewing back how we determine if something is being used as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. So it's going to be a noun, a thing, when it's being used as the subject in this sentence. That's only in formal sentences. The most common place we're going to see it being used as a noun is when it's after a verb and it's being used as either a direct object or as a predicate nominative. And how we can tell that way is remembering back when we talked about direct objectives. And direct objectives are things, and they're going to answer the question what after an action verb. So it has to be an action verb first. And then if we can answer what after that action verb, then it's being used as a direct object, which is a noun. It will be a predicate nominative if it's after a linking verb. You might want to get a list of linking verbs. Those are going to be those the be form is, am, are, was, were, be, being, been. Those, or there are some verbs that sound like action verbs but are linking verbs. There was a list of those. You can easily find a list of those. But it's basically when you can use an equal sign in place of the verb, it's telling you something about the subject. That one was, and then the next kind, so that's how it's being used as a noun in one of those capacities. So subject, or as a direct object, or as a predicate nominative. Now the other common way it's used, and it's probably most commonly used, infinitives are most commonly used as adverbs. And they're going to tell about usually the verb. And they're going to answer why, how, where, when, or to what extent about the verb. So you want to find the verb. There's kind of a clue about if it's being used as an adverb. If it's at the front of the sentence and there's a comma after it and then a noun, because that's the actual subject of the sentence. The next part is, and you can actually put it at the end of the sentence and the sentence makes sense. Take that part that's cut off with a comma and put it at the end of the sentence. Then you know it's being used as an adverb. Or if you see it at the end of the sentence and you could easily put it at the front of the sentence and put a comma after it, then it is being used as an adverb. We'll look at some on the next page. But it's going to modify or tell you something about the verb. Okay, and then the last way it can be used as an adjective is when it describes a noun, and it's usually going to be describing a direct object or a predicate nominative. But it's going to answer which one, so it's going to come probably after a direct object or a predicate nominative, or after the subject before the verb. So if it's right after the noun and it's telling you about which one, then it's going to be being used as an adjective. So I know it's always easiest to understand that when you jump in and try it with some sentences. So here are those little clues about what I'm looking for. So let's look at some sentences. My mom wanted to find an answer to the question. So now we have two twos, don't we? We have the to find an answer right there, and we have to the question. Now what we need to remember is in order to be an infinitive, it needs to have the to and then a verb. So is that an action verb, to find, right after it? It is. So that is an infinitive. The other one, to the question, to, and then do I have a verb right after it? No, I have a noun. So that is not an infinitive. That's a prepositional phrase. So now let's look at our infinitive, to find an answer. What's right before it? Wanted. What kind of word is wanted? It's a verb, isn't it? That's something you do. Mom wanted, that's what she did. She wanted. Now, can I answer the question since I have an action verb up here? I answer the question what? Wanted what? To find an answer. That answers that question. So that is being used as a direct object, which I know is then a noun in that sentence. The next sentence, does Sam have enough money to buy a plane ticket? So there's my infinitive, to buy a plane ticket. And so I do have the to with a verb, so that is an infinitive. Now, it's always easiest in a question to turn it into a statement. Here I've done that. Sam does have enough money to buy. So now let's see. Right before it is money, which is a noun, right? Does it describe which money? The money to buy a plane ticket. It does, doesn't it? Because does have is my verb, or does have to buy. So because it's describing which money, it's being used as an adjective modifying money. Next one. To play professional soccer is Jason's ambition in life. So here I have the to play. Notice it's at the front. Is there a comma after it? There isn't, so it's not going to be an adverb. So I have this and then I have my verb. So here it's being used as my subject. That's the thing. To play professional soccer is the thing. So that's being used as a noun because it's the subject of the sentence. Last one. Billy was the last boy in school to learn. There's my to with the verb form, to learn the alphabet. Now, this is a little tricky. In school, is it the school? Does it describe the school to learn the alphabet? No. Is it the boy? Which boy? The boy to learn the alphabet. So since it's describing those still a noun here, and this is being used as a predicate, the boy is a predicate nominative because Billy equals the last boy, right? And since that's my noun, this is describing which boy, so it's being used again as an adjective. Okay, I did want to go out and I wanted to show you a couple on the test, actually on the K-12. So let's see if we can do that. All right, here we are at an assessment, and we're going to try a couple of questions here. Okay, we'll try one here. So call me later and tell me about the party. Is that an infinitive or an infinitive phrase? No. B, a row of evergreen trees led to the hotel. I see that to the hotel, but remember it has to be to and then a verb. There's not a verb there, so it's not that sentence either. Next one, glistening glass mirrored us as we walked. There isn't even a to in that sentence. Last one, Mia is hoping to return to the island of her birth. So there, to and then return is a verb, so it would be D in that sentence. All right, here is where we need to decide how the infinitive is being used. Aren't these origami cranes easy to make? So if I turn it to a sentence, I would do, these origami cranes are easy to make. So because it's not at the front of the sentence as the noun or the subject, that's these origami cranes, it's not going to be the noun. And since it's, let's see, what is it modifying? Is it modifying the verb are? Are they are to make? No, they're not. Is it talking about the extent of easy? Easy how to make. So because it's modifying the adjective easy, I think we're going to consider this to be an adverb because it is modifying our adjective easy. It's talking about to what extent. So we're going to choose adverb in this case. Hopefully that you can see how that works. How is it being used here? I need some time to think. So if we put it at the front of the sentence, to think, I need some time, it's not really quite the same meaning. So it's not going to be an adverb. Let's look again. I need, and what do I need? Time. So that's an noun. Which time? To think. So I'm choosing an adjective. Which time do I need? I need time to think. Can you see how that would be an adjective? She plans to teach him about manners. There's our to teach. So the word before it is plans. That's the verb. Plans what? To teach. So since that's an action verb, that's something she's doing. And she's doing what? To teach. So that is being used as a noun, a direct object. And to play baseball was her only thought. So there it is at the front of our sentences. It's not followed by a comma, so it's probably being used as the subject. What's the sentence about? To play baseball. And then because there's that was my verb, then that is being used as the subject, and always the subject is a noun. And then the cabinet was too high to be opened by the child. Now it's only this kind of to. And the infinitive phrase is then to be opened by the child. It is modifying what? It was to be opened by the child. And if I put it at the front, to be opened by the child, comma, the cabinet was too high. So because it's modifying the verb, it's being used as an adverb. So on 5 through 10, we got them all correct. All right, hopefully that was a little helpful on recognizing how an infinitive is being used in a sentence.